Years ago, there was a man named Mr. Griffin who operated a toll bridge across the Mississippi River. The bridge would stay up so the boats could pass back and forth, and every time a train would come, Mr. Griffin would climb to the control tower, push the lever, put the bridge down, let the train go across, and then put the bridge back up so the boats could pass back and forth. One day, Mr. Griffin was showing his little son how he operated this great bridge across the Mississippi River. Suddenly, he got a phone call. The voice at the end of the line said, "Quick, Mr. Griffin, a train is coming at 50 miles an hour with 500 people on board. Go up to the control tower, put the bridge down, let the train go across, and put the bridge back up." Mr. Griffin said, "Sure." He turned to his little son and said, "Son, I want you to stand on this platform and don't move. I'm going up to the control tower, put the bridge down, let the train go across, and put the bridge back up." The son said, "Sure, Dad." Mr. Griffin made the 4-minute climb up to the control tower. He was just about to put his hand on the lever and push the lever down when he turned and he looked back down to the gearbox. And to his horror, he saw that his little son was climbing in among the gears. It would take Mr. Griffin 8 minutes to climb down, pull his son out of the gears, and get back up to the control tower. In 3 minutes, the train would be at the bridge at 50 miles an hour with 500 people on board. Mr. Griffin had a decision to make. Would he sacrifice his son's life, put the bridge down, let the people on the train live? Or would he save his son's life and watch that train at 50 miles an hour go smashing into the bridge, 500 people plus, catapulting to their death? Very deliberately, Mr. Griffin made the decision. He put his hand on the lever, he pushed the lever down, the gears began to churn, and his son was crushed to death. That great bridge went down across the Mississippi River, and as the train whisked across that bridge at 50 miles an hour with 500 people on board, Mr. Griffin stood in the control tower, pounding on the glass, saying, "People, people, people, don't you know what I have done so that you might live?" But all the people were sitting in their train car, reading their newspapers, their books, and their comic books, ignoring, oblivious to the sacrifice that Mr. Griffin had made. Why the cross of Christ? The cross of Christ was God the Father pushing the lever. His son Christ was crushed to death for a purpose, to pay the penalty for human evil, for human wrongdoing. And so now the simple question is, how have you responded to God's offer of forgiveness, love, and eternal life? Read the Gospels for yourself. Examine the evidence for yourself. Jesus Christ is totally credible, totally trustworthy. Confronted by him, you have to respond, either yes or no.